attempt to keep the location secret, the beginning of this video has been edited. We bring you in now, live, into the action that has already started. There is little bits of pottery, and it might be fun to check it out. Let's see what is there. Oh yeah, there's some. So you never know. There are older cartridges amongst them, and I didn't pocket any of them, but there are square nails all across the ground and little shards of masonry and everything else. Even the head stamps out here are pretty darn old. I will clean that up and give you a better shot. That right there is a bullet. We'll have to clean it up. It's definitely old because it's white lead and it impacted in something that might have also been chewed on by pigs. Here's our next thing out of the hole. Seems a little bit aged to me. Some sort of copper banding. Well, there's the detail on that. Looks like it might have been the top of something and it got crushed down. And then just got another signal, and that was this little rivet. Looks like it got snapped off on the far side or cut off. That, the square nails, it's an older sight. There's the other half of the rivet, or another rivet. Well, that is cool enough for me. I picked that up and I thought it was a hinge, and I don't think it is. It's obviously got some prettiness to it, so we'll clean it up a little bit. Looks like super flat piece of brass. It's so thin it's kind of breaking through, but a piece of something at one point. I'm not sure what I just dug out here. It is feeling kind of heavy. It looks like it is hold. Wow. That is a hold half time. That is incredible. That is my first one of those. It's a bucket lister. It's hold. It was worn. Oh. Yeah, that is crazy. I'm sorry I didn't live dig that. I didn't have a whole lot of hopes for the site because everybody's partied here over the years and a lot of modern garbage and stuff, but that is the first one of those I've ever found for sure. I mean, my day is made. So I was like, oh, just work this little patch that might have had people hanging out on it. I don't want to hoot and holler because it's been kind of keeping my head down and being quiet, but fully ecstatic, believe me. Okay. Little, well, thick for its size, but green copper washer probably. But with a patina that's saying older. That's got to be something cool. A flat piece of brass. I see some ornateness to it. We will have to clean that up more. Perhaps it's a face peering over a fan. Let's go ahead and clean it up and then I will show you a better shot. Well, there's my next little, is that far down. This looks like it was something more than just a lid. It's got like a little mechanism and stuff on there. Maybe that just swung that open somehow. Just swung it open, I'm not sure. Guess that's another one of those we're going to have to clean it up and see what's really going on with it before we try and move it in the field. So, the bottom of an old wine glass. That one might be pretty old. Considering the rest of the stuff at the site, I haven't found a single round nail, any garbage, anything that looks like it was here even after the 1900s. So, pretty cool. Another older bullet casing, very decomposed. This little thing, which I thought was garbage, I started cleaning it up and I see it's got little knobs on it. And patent February 2nd, 3rd, 1874, then again in 1880. C. Parker Company. Another head stamp. Wow, this Equinox, that far down. And it's like lead that you would pour around something to seal it back in the day. Like utility lead. There you go, rim fire. No center primer. And it's green. It's an older bullet. That's beautiful to me. On the West Coast, that's a healthy relic. Maybe, what hung down to a leather strap? Not sure. Or something dangled off a working horse. That was so deep down. Look at that. And I'm glad I kept going for it because it looks like it's super ornate little faucet handle. You see that? That is killer. Back when everything you had was nice or at least solid. Wow, let's clean it up. Oh my gosh, we just got... No, okay. Maybe it's a button. I think it is. No, it's got threads on it. No, maybe it's a button. Sorry to do that to you. I think it might be a heavy, like, pewter button unless it's got threads on there. I'd definitely take that. Either way. Let me clean it up real quick. It was actually crimped over maybe leather. Maybe it's like horse bridle stuff, you know? That would make sense. Awesome. And with some small square nails comes a lantern, and it's got the knob on there. Wow, that's really, really, really pretty. It's got the little spinner that would raise the wick up and down. Awesome. And that would go on top of the glass. Look at the mud print. But yeah, we might be able to get words and patent dates off of that little face right there. There are. I think I see words. There he is. See that? We will look that up. That's beautiful. We have what made the light happen inside the house. Another little rivet. Surface, inch or two down. You see where it bent and snapped. Somewhere where the horses and their stuff went, most likely. Oh. Go ahead and try and film this one-handed because it sounded so good. Oh, it's because it's a piece of garbage. No idea what that is. That's cool. This is a little pocket knife that we found. Probably as old as the rest of the objects on the site. This I still haven't identified. I tried looking up the name. The company made a lot of different things throughout these years, so if anybody recognizes what this object would be in its unflattened state, feel free to comment below. This might have been the lid to it. it seems as complex and about the same size when set on top of it, and they were relatively close. So, not sure if it was some complicated something of some sort. This is our lantern top. Pretty complete and ornate. Looking up the name brought me to this ad for the company, which states that you can make your own gas cleaner than kerosene at 15 cents per month. So that puts it pretty far back, turn of the century, slightly before 1900. This is the tip of an arrow, so these three sides were razor sharp at one point. It's been there for a while. Here's our tiny, what might have been a buckle, or it might have held a little glass plate in behind it. It also might have actually been the windshield of a little toy car, if you can see where it was broken off there at the bottom. So it might have held glass like a windshield in there. Is one of my only bets. This large piece of iron just rang up good, probably because it's circular. Another piece of iron. These are all little, pretty handmade, at least hand pounded in chunks of rivets. Some of them cut off, some of them not. But speak of an older day when everything was made out of more precious metals. Then we have the Winchester Blue Rival, the Peters, the London number 3, the Climax, the UMC Co., an Express, and these are all the rest of our casings. I believe that this one's a little bit older because it's a rim strike, so it doesn't have the separate little primer in it. This is just a copper band. It's got a fine pinstripe across it and some spots where maybe holes or pins went through it, but no other way of telling what it was. It's got a threaded, maybe zinc or lead insert. This ends up looking like a little lead lid to maybe a tube or anything, but a little screw-in lead lid. And then in the dirt near it was maybe possibly what it screwed into, which could have been anything. This J piece of metal, obviously a smaller part of some larger something, but I do not know. Anybody has any ideas? Put it in the comments below. Sometimes you just recognize it from having seen one on something that you've owned. It's always appreciated. Here's our little spigot handle. I feel like this would have been inside, but it might have been in a garden back in the day. Who knows? Very ornate. Think it's pewter or some sort of early galvanized zinc something. It's not super flexible like lead. This little stone, I don't know, maybe a sharpening stone. Maybe it's just natural like that, but didn't feel like it was, and it was on site, so I'm not sure. Different little washers, everything with the same patina and age, and the ground is very hard packed. This was our little, what you'd call utilitarian lead, so they would pour hot lead often. Sometimes just pound it, but this looks more like it was poured as like a pipe sealer in the floor. This could very well be a 3-ring bullet, I'm not sure. It's actually got what look like grooves, and it could have been fired. And even though we're in California, we actually did have federal soldiers out here that were used basically as to finish up what you would consider the Indian Wars or the genocide. This is the bottom of the glass. It was buried on site. I'm not sure if it was shot at some point after this or if it's actually from the era. Large and small square nails of all sizes, so you can tell that there was barns there and different sized buildings. And then we have the halftime, which is just an incredible find. It's definitely a bucket lister for me. It's one of those where I didn't know much about it. Again, like my gold coin when I found it. So kind of a mind blower and a mind expander. These are some of the first American coins that are printed up by a young nation. So in the end of the 1790s, George Washington is calling out as the first president for us to be using our own coins and to figure out where our mints are going to be to make them. And so we're trying to standardize our own coinage, and this is one of the first coins to come out of that is the half dime. And the date at first was super hard to see, but we're lucky in the sense that they changed the style and the patterns and stuff on it so often that it turns out that in 1853 to 1855 they put 2 little arrows on either side of the date, which we can actually see here, and that was to reflect the smaller weight of silver in it because of the rising price of silver in the world. They had to make the coins a little bit smaller, so they put those arrows on there. They stopped putting the arrows on there in 1855 was the last year. So by knowing that, I was able to look at the numbers that are here and barely faded out and see that it says 1855. So this for me is my oldest coin found in California. So pretty incredible. And then I went on to research and find out that what happened to the half dime was that we wanted to start using nickel in our coinage. And so we came up with the nickel, I believe. And because of that, they decided that they didn't need 2 coins that represented the 5 cent. So they discontinued the smaller of the 2, the half dime. So yeah, bucket lister and an incredible find. That's how it should be, metal detecting. That's why we do it. Thank you for coming with me on another quest for details. And I hope that you are all doing okay out there. Please take care of yourselves, and if you can, take care of each other. And I'll see you on down the road. The quest goes on.